Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has paused everything to make sure you hear this message. This is not coincidence. This is not the algorithm. This is divine intervention. And you are at the center of it. You have been moving through life, feeling like the world overlooks you. Yet the heavens cannot take their eyes off you. The fact that you are here proves that something massive is unfolding in the unseen realm. And God wants you to know, this moment is not ordinary. You are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in. From the day you were formed in the secret place, a seal of destiny was placed upon you. Every storm, every battle, every betrayal you survived was a signal that you are set apart. Others may look at you and see weakness, but in truth, what you carry terrifies the darkness. Even right now, as you listen, the enemy trembles because the light in you is being awakened. Think back to the nights you cried alone, thinking no one noticed. Every tear was counted. Every sigh was heard. Those hidden struggles were not wasted. They were the chisels shaping the chosen one you are becoming. You did not break in those moments you were being built. And now, heaven presses pause because your time has come to stand. Do you feel it? The pull inside. The sense that you cannot remain where you are, that is not random. That is heaven tugging on your spirit. Your name has been spoken in divine courts. Your assignment is being stirred awake. The doors that were locked in the past season are beginning to rattle. But before you step forward, you must recognize who you truly are. You are God's chosen one. This is why rejection came so often. You thought you were being pushed aside. But the truth is, God was separating you. He would not let you blend into circles that could not carry the weight of your calling. Every no you faced was heaven's yes in disguise. You were protected even when you thought you were being punished. Chosen one. Lean in, because the world needs your light right now. Darkness has been loud. Confusion has been spreading. But what you carry silences chaos. You are not powerless. You are not overlooked. You are anointed for such a time as this. That stirring in your heart, that urgency you feel, it is heaven's alarm sounding through your soul. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give as the world gives. Do not be afraid." And that peace is not a decoration, it is a weapon. It shields your mind when lies come. It guards your heart when betrayal strikes. And it anchors you when everything around you shakes. This is why your atmosphere feels different. Why some people are unsettled around you. They sense that your calm is not natural but supernatural. That is the mark of the chosen. As you walk in this peace, your discernment sharpens. You begin to recognize traps before they form, and the noise of the world loses its power over you. Every step you take is guided by a quiet confidence, a knowing that heaven walks with you. Others will look for the secret of your strength, but they will not find it in titles or positions. It flows from your surrender to God. And in that surrender, new doors begin to open. Conversations align. Resources appear. And divine timing accelerates. This is not luck. It is the fruit of peace-filled obedience. You do not have to chase what God has already appointed for you. It will find you as you keep your heart steady in Him. This is why heaven paused everything to remind you. Your peace is your proof. So hear this. Do not shrink back. Do not silence your own voice. The time for hiding is over. Heaven is calling you into the open, because what you carry is not just for you, it is for generations. When you rise, others rise. When you walk boldly, chains break around those who watch. You are the sign this world has been waiting for. Chosen one. If you are receiving this message deep in your spirit, act in faith right now. Let this moment be marked in heaven and on earth. Like, share, and subscribe, so this word continues to reach others who need it desperately. And as a prophetic act, comment 77 below. That number is a declaration. I step into my calling. I choose obedience. I will not miss my moment. Say, this is your hour. Do not delay. Chosen one. Let us walk deeper. You carry battles within that no one else can see. Outwardly, you may smile. You may appear composed. But in the secret chambers of your heart, there are scars from wars that others never witnessed. Nights where you lay awake, replaying words that cut deep. Mornings where you forced yourself to rise, though your spirit was heavy. These hidden struggles are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that you were chosen to endure storms others could not survive. Do you remember those moments when you felt invisible? When your kindness went unnoticed? Your sacrifices unappreciated? Your loyalty overlooked? It was not because you had no worth. On the contrary, it was because heaven was training you in silence. Every unspoken tear was a seed watered in the soil of your destiny, even when no applause echoed. Your perseverance was building a testimony strong enough to shake nations. The truth is, your private battles prepared you for a public mantle. God could not place such weight on fragile shoulders, so he forged you in secret. You thought rejection was punishment, but it was refinement. You thought loneliness was abandonment, but it was protection. In silence, you were being sculpted into someone who can stand when others fall. You wonder why the pressure was so great. It is because your calling is great. Others may live lightly, drifting without much resistance, but you were marked for a path that requires endurance. You are not ordinary, and the weight you carried proves it. Even in your breaking, something unbreakable was being formed inside you. And though you often questioned why your journey seemed lonelier, harsher, and heavier than others, heaven saw every moment and allowed it for a reason. Pressure births diamant, fire purifies gold, and storms reveal true roots. In the same way, the weight you bore was never meant to crush you, but to confirm you. You are not fragile. You are fortified, tempered, and trusted with eternal purpose. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." These words are not abstract. They are your story. Every time you felt crushed, heaven drew closer. Every time your heart shattered, the hand of God was near enough to gather the pieces. You were never abandoned. Even in the silence, he was present, shaping strength in the shadows. Chosen one, do you see now why you carry such depth? People may wonder why your words pierce, why your presence feels heavy with meaning. It is because your life has been refined in fire. You are not shallow. You are not surface level. Because your journey forced you into depths few dare to enter. That depth is not a curse. It is a gift. It makes you an anchor for those tossed by storms. Think of it. The very things that almost destroyed you are the things that now equip you to save others. The heartbreak you endured allows you to comfort. The betrayal you survived allows you to discern. The battles you fought alone now make you a warrior who can stand on behalf of others. None of it was wasted. Every scar is now a torch, lighting the path for those still lost. Do not despise your story. Do not look back at those chapters with shame. They are holy ground, proof that heaven trusted you with pain because you were destined to turn it into power. If you had lived an easy life, you would not have the authority you now carry. But because you survived what should have destroyed you, your very existence is a testimony of God's sustaining power. Chosen one, hear this clearly. You are not weak because of what you endured. You are strong because of it. Every whisper of not enough was a lie. Every thought that said, you are forgotten, was false. You are seen, known, and chosen precisely because of the battles you carry inside. They qualify you for the destiny that awaits you. And now, you stand on the other side of those nights, carrying wisdom that cannot be bought and strength that cannot be faked. The weight of hidden battles has prepared you for a visible victory. Your scars are not marks of shame. They are evidence that the chosen one has risen from the fire, still standing, still shining, still chosen. So walk forward, not as someone broken, but as someone built. Walk as proof that God rescues the crushed, that He stands with the weary, that He never abandons His own. Let every hidden battle now testify, the chosen one has survived. And the story is far from over. Chosen one, you have walked through rejection that cut deep. People you trusted turned away. Voices you thought would stand beside you went silent. The sting of being misunderstood has followed you like a shadow. But listen closely. Rejection was not your ending. It was your redirection. Every door that slammed shut was not a loss. It was God saving you from being tied to places and people who could not carry the weight of your calling. You were not abandoned. You were separated. You were not overlooked. You were set apart. That difference matters. For while others may fight to belong, your destiny demanded that you stand out. The discomfort you felt when trying to blend in was heaven's reminder. You were never designed to fit into the mold of the crowd. Think back. There were circles where you felt invisible, environments where your presence was tolerated but not celebrated. At first, you thought it was rejection, but in truth, heaven was answering prayers. You didn't even know how to pray. God was cutting ties with voices that would have distracted you from hearing His blessed. And yes, it hurt. Yes, it felt lonely. But now, as you look back, you can see not everyone who walked away was a loss. Some were necessary exits. Some departures were divine protection. God's hand was pulling you from shallow places to prepare you for deeper waters. What you called endings were really beginnings in disguise. Heaven was not stripping you down to leave you empty. Heaven was clearing the clutter so your true assignment could breathe. Those who left were never meant to carry the weight of your future. And though their absence felt heavy, it created the sacred space where God Himself could step in and strengthen you for what is coming. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Of chosen one. This verse is your identity. Before rejection, Before pain, before betrayal, God already marked you. Your difference is not a flaw. It is a calling. He set you apart, not after your mistakes, not after your growth, but before you even took your first breath. Do you see now why fitting in was never possible? Your very existence disrupts the ordinary. You carry light that exposes darkness, and that light makes some uncomfortable. People may not have had the words for it, but their resistance was proof of your divine separation. So do not despise your rejection. Do not curse the loneliness. They were not punishments, they were pathways. Every no was clearing space for God's yes. Every exit was making room for divine appointments. You are being led not to where you are tolerated, but to where you are celebrated. And now, chosen one, it is time to shift how you see yourself. No longer as the one who didn't belong, but as the one who was called higher. No longer as the rejected, but as the selected. For the very places that cast you out will one day witness the glory God places upon your life. This is why your scars matter. They remind you that you survived the cutting away, that you endured the pruning, and that you emerged refined. Do not hide them. They are proof that you were chosen to withstand what others could not. Chosen one, act in faith. Right now, declare it publicly and prophetically in the comments. Set apart. Oh, these two words are not casual. They are a seal. By writing them, you affirm what heaven has already spoken, that your rejection was divine separation, that your life is marked by design, that you embrace your identity as one who is called higher. And as you declare it, expect something to shift in your spirit. The heaviness of loneliness will begin to lift. The sting of rejection will lose its hold. Peace will settle in your heart, because you will finally see you were never excluded. You were chosen. Chosen one. The world needs this truth alive in you. Others who feel abandoned will look to you and see proof that God rescues, restores, and redirects. Your testimony will become their hope. What once felt like loss will become the very reason others find life. So, step boldly. Stand tall. Carry the seal of set apart without apology. You are not common. You are not replaceable. You are not overlooked. You are chosen, crafted, and positioned by the hand of God Himself. Chosen one. Pause for a moment and consider the journey of your endurance. Every trial, every valley, every sleepless night has been more than suffering. It has been training. You may not have seen it while you were walking through the fire, but heaven saw what was being forged inside you. Endurance is not built in comfort, it is built in storms. And you have endured storms that prove you are not ordinary. Think about it. When others quit, you pressed on. When despair whispered, you found a reason to stand. Even when your strength was gone, something within refused to let you collapse. That something was the hand of God strengthening your frame. You did not endure because you were strong. You endured because heaven refused to let you fall. There is a crown for this. Not a crown of human applause. Not a crown of fleeting success. But a crown forged by heaven for those who do not quit. Every tear added to its brilliance. Every step of perseverance added to its weight. You may not see it yet, but it is already prepared for you. Chosen one. This endurance has also changed the way you see the world. Pain has given you wisdom. Loss has given you perspective. Waiting has taught you patience. The very hardships that tried to break you, instead, gave you the strength to carry what others cannot. That is why people come to you for counsel. Why your presence alone feels steadying. You have walked through enough storms to recognize the signs, and your endurance makes you a shelter for those still learning to stand. This is why heaven values endurance so highly. Anyone can start with excitement. Many can burn brightly for a season, but only those who endure, only those who remain when the fire tests them, are trusted with crowns. For endurance is proof of loyalty, proof of faith, proof of a heart that refuses to abandon the one who never abandoned you. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 25, everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Oh, this is your promise. Chosen one. Others chase crowns that fade. They labor for applause that disappears. They fight for recognition that will not endure. But you, your endurance, secures a crown that time cannot tarnish and eternity cannot erase. A crown placed not by men, but by God Himself. Your trials were not wasted. Your endurance was not unnoticed. Every step has been recorded, every tear collected, every sigh remembered. The heavens are not blind to your pain, and they are not silent about your perseverance. Even now, angels surround you because your faith is precious in the sight of God. Chosen one. Do not mistake delay for denial. Just because the crown is not yet on your head does not mean it is not real. Crowns are given in due time. After the race has been faithfully run, you are still in the running, still proving faithful, still pressing on. The crown is waiting, and heaven is watching. And though the journey is not easy, remember this: endurance is itself a victory. The enemy's plan was not simply to wound you, it was to make you quit. The fact that you are still here, still standing, still breathing, is proof that his plan failed. You are not defeated. You are undefeated. Endurance is your banner, and heaven recognizes your triumph. Think of the great cloud of witnesses, those who endured before you. Their stories echo through time, reminding you that you are not alone. Just as they finished their race, so too will you finish yours. And when you do, the crown awaiting you will shine with the testimony of every trial you overcame. So lift your head. Let the weight of endurance become your glory, not your shame. Let the scars remind you not of pain, but of perseverance. And let your spirit rest in the knowledge that the crown of endurance is already yours. Waiting for the day, heaven places it upon your head. Chosen one, this is your reality. You have been trained in fire, strengthened in weakness, refined in waiting. You are not fragile. You are not failing. You are being crowned with endurance. And that crown will outlast every trial, every storm, every shadow of this life. Chosen one. Now, let us turn to the mystery of the light you carry. It has always been with you, even when you tried to hide it. From childhood, people noticed something different. Sometimes they admired it. Sometimes they resented it. Sometimes they simply could not explain it. That difference is not a coincidence. It is your inheritance. You carry a light that terrifies darkness. When you enter a room, the atmosphere shifts. People may not always know why, But the unseen realm knows. The powers of darkness recognize it immediately. Your presence alone unsettles what is unclean. Because light does not need to argue with darkness, it simply exposes it. You have felt this, haven't you? The strange tension in places where others seem comfortable, the sense of resistance when you try to settle among the crowd. That is because your light refuses to dim itself. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Do you see? The light within you is not your own weapon, it is heaven's. Darkness resists you, not because of who you are in yourself, but because of the one who stands behind you, your stillness, your calm. Your refusal to bow to fear becomes the loudest declaration that heaven fights on your behalf. Chosen one. Imagine a candle in a vast cave. The cave may be filled with shadows, but the moment that tiny flame is lit, darkness cannot remain the same. The shadows may crowd around, but they cannot extinguish it. You are that candle. Better yet, you are a torch, and your fire spreads. Others around you, weary and lost, will find their way because of your flame. But a torch does not burn endlessly without fuel. It must be fed. Your light, too, must be nurtured. Time in prayer is oil. Time in the Word is firewood. Fellowship with the faithful is wind that fans the flame. Neglect these, and the light grows dim. Guard them, and your flame becomes a blaze that cannot be ignored. This is why your voice matters, why your choices matter. Every time you speak life instead of curse, you strengthen your flame. Every time you choose faith instead of fear, the blaze grows brighter. Every act of obedience is like striking another match, and heaven is watching, smiling, as your light refuses to bow to the weight of darkness. Now, chosen one, lean closer. Just as your flame needs fuel, so does this message. Light that spreads must be carried, and carrying it requires vessels. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not just clicking buttons, you are helping the torch pass from one hand to another. Every action becomes a spark that lights another candle somewhere in the world. And yes, even giving, donating, is part of this sacred chain. Imagine a lighthouse on the edge of a stormy sea. Its beam must shine through the night to guide ships safely to shore. But that lighthouse requires oil, requires maintenance, requires care. Without support, its beam could fade, and the sailors in the storm would lose their guide. In the same way, when you choose to give, you are pouring oil into the lamp that helps countless others see the light. Your generosity is not just money, it is fuel for a flame that rescues lives. Do not think your part is too small. A single drop of oil keeps the lamp burning longer. A single share places the light before someone drowning in despair. A single subscription strengthens the voice that carries hope. This is how heaven multiplies through faithful ones who understand that their actions ripple far beyond their own sight. Chosen one, you are not a spectator. You are part of the story. The darkness wants you silent, passive, invisible, but heaven calls you to shine, to move, to fuel the fire, whether through your voice, your presence, your giving, or your encouragement. You are part of the resistance against the shadows, and together, the chosen ones form a constellation across the earth. a network of lights that no darkness can overcome. So stand tall in your calling. Let your flame be seen without apology. Protect it, feed it, and extend it. And remember, you are not alone in this. Countless others carry their flames too. And when you connect, the night sky becomes a canopy of light. That is the vision heaven has chosen ones. United, unshakable, unstoppable. Your light terrifies darkness, and no weapon formed against you will prosper. Let it burn boldly. Chosen one, let it burn until the world cannot help but see. Chosen one, lean in, because this is not a gentle whisper, it is an emergency alert in the spirit. Heaven is sounding an alarm over your life, warning you that delay is dangerous and hesitation could cost more than you realize. You may think you have more time. You may believe you can keep pushing the call aside. But the truth is, there are moments when heaven's window is open, and if you miss it, you cannot get it back. You have felt this tension, haven't you? The inner pull that says, do it now, while your mind argues, maybe later. That is the battle of obedience. Every delay feels harmless in the moment, but in the unseen realm, each delay gives the enemy room to weave his nets tighter around you. Heaven's emergency is this: you cannot afford to keep waiting. Think of a soldier standing at attention when the trumpet blasts. He does not ask for 5 more minutes. He does not say, "I'll come later." He knows the sound means, move now. In the same way, chosen one, the Spirit is sounding a trumpet in your life. The order has been given. The call is active. Every second matters. You may not see the full picture of why it is urgent, but heaven does. Perhaps the door you need is only open for a short time. Perhaps someone's life depends on your obedience. Perhaps your destiny itself is hanging in the balance. This is why hesitation feels so heavy. It is not about convenience. It is about eternal consequence. Picture a train pulling out of the station. Those who step aboard in time are carried swiftly toward their destination. But those who linger on the platform, even a moment too long, are left behind, watching the opportunity vanish into the distance. That is what delay looks like in the spirit. It feels small in the moment, yet it decides whether you move forward into destiny or remain stranded in cycles of waiting. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, from the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, verse 15, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as you did in the rebellion. No. Do you feel the weight of that word? Today, not tomorrow. Not when it feels easier. Not when life is calmer. Today. Every delay risks hardening the heart. And every hardened heart drifts further from the light. That is why this moment feels urgent. Heaven is fighting for your attention before it is too late. Chosen one. Remember how many times you ignored the tug before. Remember how the conviction grew weaker when you pushed it aside. That is not coincidence. Conviction is a gift, but it is also a warning that the window does not stay open forever. If you feel the stirring now, it means heaven is still calling. Do not waste the invitation. Think of mercy like a hand reaching out to pull you from a cliff. The hand is strong, but if you resist long enough, the opportunity passes and the ground beneath you crumbles. That is why delay is not harmless, it is deadly. Heaven has already stretched out its hand. Your response determines whether you rise or whether you fall. And so, chosen one, here is your moment to to act in faith. Not later, but now, in this very moment. Seal your obedience with a prophetic declaration. Write this in the comments. 444. Why 444? Because 3 times 4 declares stability, foundation, and divine order. When you type it, you are not just entering numbers, you are testifying. I choose to stand on God's foundation. I choose order over chaos. I will obey without delay. Let it be a sign in heaven and on earth that you refuse to miss the trumpet call. And when you act, expect the weight to shift. Expect chains of hesitation to weaken. Expect clarity to rise in your mind. Because every time you choose obedience in the moment, heaven's flow accelerates in your life. Doors open. Strength increases. Peace multiplies. Delay drains you. But obedience fills you. Chosen one. Do not let this moment pass like others did. You know what it feels like to ignore the stirring, to wake the next day with regret, to feel the voice quieter than before. This time, let it be different. Let this be the day you respond. Let this be the day you choose immediate obedience and silence the voice of delay. Remember, the trumpet is not blasting to frighten you, but to awaken you. Heaven is not condemning you, but calling you higher. But every call has a time, and the time is now. Step boldly. Move quickly. Respond faithfully. Heaven is watching. The door is open. The emergency alert has sounded. Chosen one. This is your moment. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. Obey today. Chosen one. Let us step into a sobering reality. Mercy is a gift. But mercy also moves. The window of grace is wide when first opened, yet it does not remain open forever. There comes a point when delay becomes defiance, when hesitation hardens into rebellion, and when rebellion leads to blindness. That is why heaven warns you with urgency now, so that you do not treat grace as though it were endless. You have tasted mercy before. Think of the times you strayed and yet were spared, the moments you walked close to danger and yet were rescued, the prayers you prayed in desperation that were answered, though you had little faith. Each of those moments was proof of God's compassion, His patience, His unwillingness to let you perish. Yet mercy, while abundant, is not careless. It is purposeful, designed to draw you into alignment with the one who loves you. The danger lies in treating mercy as a guarantee instead of a gift. A guarantee assumes it will always be there, no matter what. A gift acknowledges it is precious, undeserved, and to be treasured. Many hearts grow cold because they assume the door of grace will wait forever. But Scripture is clear. Doors shut. Windows close. Seasons change. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 23, "Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers." These words are heavy, but they are truth. Not everyone who assumes mercy will find it. Not everyone who waits until tomorrow will discover tomorrow still offers the same door. Mercy calls you today so that you will not be among those who hear the words, "I never knew you." Chosen one. Let this truth not bring fear but awakening. Fear paralyzes, but awakening empowers. To awaken is to realize how precious this moment is, how priceless the stirring in your heart truly is. Mercy is speaking now because heaven still longs for you. still believes in you, still sees what you can become if you choose rightly. Think of mercy like the dawn. When the sun first rises, its light is soft, gentle, and inviting, but as the day advances, that same light grows harsh and exposes everything. Early, it warms and welcomes. Later, it judges and reveals. In the same way, mercy today feels tender, but tomorrow it may expose what has been hidden. That is why responding now is not just wise, it is necessary. Chosen one, have you noticed how conviction feels lighter when you respond quickly? How peace follows when you act in obedience? That is the fruit of mercy. But you've also felt the opposite when you ignored the tug. The voice grew keener, and the heaviness lingered. That silence is dangerous. It is not freedom, it is the dullness that comes when hearts begin to harden. You are not meant for a hardened heart. You are meant for a heart alive, sensitive, quick to respond. That is the true strength of the chosen ones, not perfection, but responsiveness. They hear and obey. They stumble, but return. They value mercy as priceless instead of presuming upon it. Mercy is knocking on your door now, not because heaven wants to frighten you, but because heaven wants to keep you safe. The storms ahead require a steady foundation, and mercy is giving you the chance to plant your feet firmly before the winds rise. To delay is to risk standing on sand when the flood comes. Think of Noah. He built the ark while the skies were still clear. He obeyed before the first raindrop fell. Those who mocked him assumed the window would always remain open. But when the door shut, it did not reopen. That is the weight of mercy's window. It is open for a time, but not forever. Chosen one, do not despise this warning. Do not dismiss this stirring. It is love disguised as urgency, compassion clothed in alarm. Heaven would not bother to send a message if there were no hope left for you. The very fact that you feel conviction now is proof that the door is still open. But remember, the door is not guaranteed tomorrow. The voice may not be as loud. The tug may not be as strong. Every time you resist, the risk of blindness grows. That is why mercy presses you now, urging you to value what is before you. Chosen one, treasure this gift. Hold mercy as sacred. Let it awaken gratitude, obedience, and reverence in your heart. For the God who offers mercy today is the same God who one day will judge. Let your response now be faith, so that when that day comes, your name is not among those who hear, "I never knew you." No, this is the narrow window of grace. Step into it while it is open. Chosen one, the air grows heavy here, for we must speak of how close the edge truly is. You have been told again and again that you stand in the middle of a great battle, but now you must realize you are one step from blindness, and yet one step from breakthrough. That razor-thin line is where you live right now, and the weight of your decisions determines on which side you will stand. Blindness does not come suddenly. It creeps like a fog, rolling in slowly, stealing vision piece by piece until you cannot tell the difference between light and shadow. Every compromise adds to the mist. Every rebellion thickens the air, until at last you are walking in darkness without even realizing the light has left. That is the danger you face if you ignore the tug of heaven. But breakthrough is equally near. It too does not come all at once. but as a crack of light piercing the horizon, widening with every act of obedience until the full dawn breaks. One surrender can shift everything. One prayer spoken in faith can shatter chains. One step toward the Father can clear the fog and open the heavens. You are closer to freedom than you think. Do not believe the lie that you are too far gone. Darkness whispers, "It's too late." But the truth is that heaven declares, "Now is the moment." The line between blindness and breakthrough is not measured by distance, but by direction. Which way will you step? That is what decides your tomorrow. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Oh, think of your life as a hallway with two doors at the end. One leads into light, wide and radiant. The other swings into a chamber of shadows. Both doors are within reach, but you cannot stand still forever. Every choice you make nudges you closer to one door or the other. That is why today feels so weighty. Your footsteps echo toward breakthrough or blindness. Chosen one, you know what blindness feels like already. Times when you could not hear clearly. When confusion drowned out truth. When every decision felt uncertain. That was the fog pressing against your spirit. Yet even in that, there were flashes of clarity. Moments when heaven broke through. Whispers reminding you that you were not abandoned. Those flashes are proof that the light is near. That blindness is not final if you turn. And you also know what breakthrough feels like. The sudden peace after prayer. The unexpected answer that arrives right on time. The weight lifting from your shoulders when you surrender. These are not random. They are glimpses of the life you are meant to live fully. A life where darkness cannot choke your vision. The danger lies in complacency. Many drift because they think they can stand still on this narrow line. But in truth, no one stands still. You are always moving either deeper into fog or closer to light. That is why the Spirit urges you to choose deliberately, to refuse to wander aimlessly. The difference between blindness and breakthrough is not chance, it is choice. Chosen one. Recognize the power you hold. The enemy wants you to feel powerless, to believe that blindness is inevitable. But the Spirit of God within you declares otherwise. You have authority over fear, strength over confusion, clarity over lies. You are not destined for blindness. You are destined for sight, for clarity, for breakthrough. Yet, clarity requires courage. You must face what you have avoided. You must step where you hesitated. Breakthrough is not given to the passive. It comes to those who lean in, who decide, who move. Each step of obedience is a hammer against the walls that tried to cage you. Each act of surrender cracks the ceiling until heaven's light floods in. Chosen one, feel the urgency. This is not a casual crossroad. It is the dividing line of destiny. One step can lead you into deeper shadows, where hardness sets in, where conviction fades, where blindness consumes. One step can also lead you into light, where freedom reigns, where vision clears, where destiny unfolds. Both are near. Both are possible. But hear this, heaven believes in you. That is why the warning is given. That is why the tug is strong. The Spirit within you is greater than the darkness pressing around you. Fear will not have the final word. Blindness will not define your future. Breakthrough is waiting, and the door is open. Chosen one. Let this truth sink deep. You are not stumbling in darkness alone. The hand of heaven is stretched out, waiting to guide you into the light. You need only choose. Step boldly. Turn toward the dawn. Blindness is a breath away, but so is breakthrough. Choose the light and watch the fog dissolve. Chosen one. The air you breathe is not neutral. Every day you are caught in a clash that cannot be ignored. The clash of kingdoms. One is the kingdom of light, ruled by the Prince of Peace, filled with truth, clarity, and freedom. The other is the kingdom of darkness, ruled by deception, confusion, and chains. And whether you realize it or not, you live in the middle of their collision. This is why your life has felt so intense. The battles you face are not simply personal, they are spiritual. The sudden waves of heaviness, the irrational resistance when you try to move forward, the patterns that seem designed to stop your growth. These are not coincidences. They are signs that you are a target because you are chosen. Darkness fights you because it fears you. The ancient words recorded in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, still echo today. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world. This is your reality. Your battle is not against co-workers, family members, or strangers who misunderstand you. The true resistance comes from forces that cannot be seen with human eyes. That is why logic alone cannot explain your struggles. That is why some situations felt far heavier than they should have been. Because you were not fighting people, you were standing against powers. Chosen one. Do not mistake this as hopeless news. The fact that you are in this battle is proof of your importance. Darkness does not waste its energy on the insignificant. It strikes hardest at the ones carrying light, the ones marked for impact, the ones whose obedience threatens its agenda. You are one of them. That is why the battle has been so fierce, because your destiny is so great. Think of yourself as a soldier stationed on the front line. The fire is heavier where you stand because you are closest to victory ground. Others may walk in peace, but that is because they pose no threat. You, however, are marked as a disruptor of darkness. And though the fire burns hot, remember, you are not fighting alone. The commander of heaven's armies stands behind you, and his strength is unmatched. Chosen one. Battles shape warriors. Every clash you endure sharpens your spirit, trains your discernment, strengthens your faith. You may feel weary, but you are being forged. You are learning to see through deception, to resist lies, to fight with weapons not of this world. The very war meant to destroy you is equipping you to destroy the works of darkness. This is why your prayers matter so much. Every whispered word of faith is an arrow in the unseen realm. Every declaration of truth shakes the foundations of lies. You may feel small when you pray, but the spiritual world trembles at your voice. Do not underestimate your role. Your obedience is a weapon. Your worship is a shield. Your faith is a sword. The clash of kingdoms will not end until the final trumpet sounds, but your victory is already secured. The light has already overcome the darkness. The enemy fights not because he can win, but because he knows his time is short. That is why he presses so hard, why he tries to distract and exhaust you. But chosen one, do not be deceived. He cannot conquer what God has crowned. And now, in this very moment, act in defiance of darkness. Make a prophetic stand with your words. Write this in the comments. I stand. Oh, 3 simple letters. Yet they carry fire in the spirit. By declaring, I stand, you are proclaiming, I will not bow to lies. I will not surrender to fear. I will not retreat in this battle. Those words, though short, carry eternal weight. They signal to heaven and hell alike that the chosen one is not quitting. Chosen one. The clash around you may roar, but within you, a greater strength roars louder. The Spirit of God has made you unshakable. The war is fierce, but the outcome is fixed. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not defeated. You are victorious. And every step you take in faith widens the gap through which light floods this darkened world. So hold your ground. Lift your head. Keep your armor on. The clash of kingdoms is not your destruction. It is your proving ground. And when the smoke clears, when the dust settles, the chosen ones will be seen standing, crowned and unbroken. You will be among them. For you were never called to be overcome. You were called to overcome. Chosen one. Something is stirring across the earth. Something few can see, but many can feel. A remnant is awakening. It is not the multitudes, not the ones chasing applause, but the hidden ones, those refined in silence, those tested in fire, those who carry scars as proof of survival. And you are one of them. Heaven does not awaken the crowd. Heaven awakens the remnant. And in that awakening, you are being summoned. This awakening is not loud at first. It begins like the faint tremor beneath the earth before the earthquake shakes cities. It starts like the smallest bud pushing through frozen ground, announcing that winter is over, though the snow still lingers. The remnant feels the shift before anyone else sees it. You sense it, don't you? The deep inner knowing that something has changed, that the old season is closing, that your spirit cannot stay asleep any longer. We find in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, the hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than when we believed. This verse is not poetic suggestion, it is a command. Wake up, shake off the dust, rise from the shadows. The night is nearly over, and the dawn is breaking. The remnant cannot afford to stay curled in comfort while the trumpet of destiny is sounding. Chosen one. Imagine a field of dry bones. To the natural eye, they are lifeless, forgotten, scattered. But then the breath of God moves, and suddenly bones rattle, flesh forms, and an army rises. That is what is happening now. What seemed dormant in you, what seemed dead, is stirring back to life. You are part of this rising army, a remnant marked not by numbers but by power. And here is where your role becomes vital. Light must spread, not remain hidden. Flames must be fanned, not smothered. Messages like these are like sparks falling into dry wood. They ignite when carried, when shared, when fueled, when you like, when you share, when you subscribe. You are not just interacting with content, you are breathing on the flame of awakening, ensuring that the fire does not go out. Think of a lantern carried in ancient times. Its flame could guide travelers through the night, but only if it was kept alive. only if oil was poured into it. That is what your support does. Your engagement pours oil. Your sharing carries the lantern to another traveler, stumbling in the dark. Your subscription becomes the steady hand that keeps the light from flickering out. And yes, even your giving, your donations are sacred in this picture. Imagine a great lighthouse standing at the edge of a storm-battered coast. Its beam warns ships of the rocks and guides them safely to shore. But the lighthouse requires constant care. The lens must be polished, the fire fed, the structure maintained. Without the hands and hearts of those who support it, its light would falter, and countless lives would drift into disaster. Your giving is that care. It is not money, it is oil in the lamp, polish on the lens, stone in the foundation, chosen one. Do not underestimate how heaven uses even the smallest act. A single share may place light before someone planning to give up. A single donation may fuel the word that keeps another soul standing. A single like or comment may encourage someone scrolling in silence, reminding them they are not alone. These acts seem ordinary on earth, but they echo as extraordinary in heaven. You are not called to carry the awakening alone. The remnant rises together. Every flame strengthens the next. Every spark joins into a wildfire. Together, chosen ones become unstoppable, a wave that darkness cannot contain. And your role, whether through your words, your presence, your sharing, or your giving, is part of that rising. This is not about building a platform, it is about building a people. It is about forming an unshakable remnant who will shine in the darkest hours. Your obedience is the difference between a spark fading or a fire spreading. Heaven trusts you with this responsibility because heaven knows what you carry. So awaken, chosen one. Let your spirit rise with courage. Guard the fire within you, but also fan the flames of others. Like the dawn breaking across a long night, the remnant is appearing, and you are one of the first lights on the horizon. Let your life testify that the awakening has begun, and as you stand in this hour, may your light not flicker, may your flame not fade. May your part in this remnant shine brightly for all who watch. For the chosen ones are rising, and nothing can stop what heaven has started. Chosen one, there is something sacred burning within you now, something no darkness can extinguish. It is not merely passion, not simply willpower, it is fire from heaven itself. When God marks someone, He does not do it with ink that fades or titles that shift. He seals them with fire, an anointing that glows in the spirit, even when the natural eye cannot see it. That fire is your mark. You have felt it before, in moments when you should have given up, but did not. That was the fire. In hours when despair pressed heavy, but your heart whispered hope. That was the fire. In conversations where your words carried weight beyond your own understanding. That was the fire. It is more than a feeling, it is God's fingerprint upon your soul. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 38. Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the soil, and also licked up the water in the trench. This fire is not fragile. It consumes what stands in its way. It purifies what is unclean. It proves that the hand of God is present, and just as the altar in Elijah's day was marked by visible flame, so too your life is marked by an invisible fire. Chosen one. Understand this. The fire on you is not for decoration. It is for demonstration. It testifies that you belong to heaven. It terrifies darkness because it cannot be extinguished by storm, water, or shadow. The more pressure you face, the brighter it burns. The more resistance rises against you, the stronger it glows. Yet fire comes with responsibility. Just as priests in the ancient temple had to tend the flame daily, you must guard and feed what God has placed in you. Neglect starves the fire. Compromise dims it, but prayer fuels it. Obedience fans it. Surrender makes it unstoppable. This is why your private choices matter so deeply. They determine whether the fire flickers or blazes. Chosen one. Let go of the fear that you will lose what God has placed in you. The fire is not yours to maintain alone. The Spirit Himself sustains it. But you are called to cooperate, to guard against the winds of distraction and the waters of compromise. When you live in alignment, the fire not only remains, it grows. Think of a torch in ancient battles. Soldiers did not carry torches just for light. They carried them as a signal of identity, proof that they belonged to the army advancing. When enemies saw the glow of hundreds of torches in the night, fear struck their hearts because they knew they were outmatched. In the same way, your fire signals to the unseen realm that you are part of heaven's army. Darkness may try to intimidate, but it cannot ignore the flame. This fire is also contagious. When you live ablaze, others around you ignite. People whose faith has grown cold find warmth near you. Those stumbling in shadows find clarity in your presence. Even those who oppose you cannot deny that something burns in you which is not of this world. That is why you have always stood out. Why some have been drawn and others repelled, because the fire reveals. Chosen one. Do not apologize for this fire. Do not hide it to make others comfortable. You were not marked to blend in. You were marked to burn. The world does not need more shadows. It needs light. It does not need more silence. It needs voices that carry flame. You are one of them. And though you may feel weary, know this: fire renews. Unlike earthly strength that drains, heavenly fire multiplies. The more you give, the more you glow, the more you pour out, the more heaven pours in. That is why you have survived what should have left you empty, because your source is not human. It is divine. So walk boldly with this seal upon you. Let your life be an altar. Your words be sparks. Your obedience be the wood that keeps the fire alive. Remember, this flame is not random. It is proof that heaven has claimed you, that you are set apart, that no weapon of darkness can ever put out what God Himself has ignited. You are marked with fire. Chosen one, carry it, guard it, let it burn until the world cannot deny the glow of heaven upon your life. Chosen one, imagine a great hallway stretching out before you, lined with doors. Some are locked, some are sealed, some are hidden. But now, in this very moment, one of them stands wide open. It is not just any door, it is the door of destiny. It does not open by accident. It is not a random turn of events. This door is timed, placed, and revealed by the hand of heaven, and you are standing before it. Doors are symbolic in the spirit. Some doors lead backward into cycles of pain. Others lead sideways into distractions that waste your strength. But the door of destiny is different. It pulls you forward into the very purpose for which you were born. When God opens it, no man can shut it. Yet when God shuts it, no man can open it again. This is why hesitation is dangerous. The door is open now, but not forever. Think of Noah again. The ark's door remained open until the moment heaven shut it. Those who entered found life. Those who delayed found only regret. The difference between salvation and destruction was not strength, knowledge, or even desire. It was whether they stepped through while the door was open. The same principle echoes over your life right now. Scripture speaks in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. No, this is not just ancient poetry, it is living truth. Heaven acknowledges your struggles, your limited strength, the weight you've carried. Yet despite all of it, you are still here, still holding on, still clinging to the name above all names. And for that reason, the door of destiny stands open for you. Chosen one. Do not mistake this open door as ordinary. It is not a promotion, not a random opportunity, not a fleeting stroke of luck. It is alignment. It is heaven's timing colliding with your obedience. Walk through it, and the path unfolds. Ignore it, and the season passes. That is why this moment is charged with such urgency. You may wonder what lies beyond the door. The answer is not ease, but destiny. Beyond it, there will still be battles, but battles that build, not break. There will still be stretching, but stretching that strengthens, not shatters. Beyond it lies fulfillment, the alignment of your gifts with heaven's plan, the place where your story begins to make sense. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It feels surrounded, pressed, hidden. But when the season is right, the soil cracks open, and suddenly the seed steps into sunlight. The seed's destiny is not to stay buried, but to grow into something greater. The soil was never the final chapter. It was only preparation. In the same way, the hidden seasons of your life were not the end. They were soil. The door opening now is your crack of sunlight. Yet here is the weighty truth. No one can walk through the door for you. Others may point. Others may encourage. But only your feet can cross the threshold. That is why heaven presses you now, not to frighten you, but to awaken your choice. Chosen one, make this moment sacred. Respond, not with delay, but with declaration. Right now, type in the comments 555. This number is not random. 5 is the number of grace. And 3 5s declare fullness, grace upon grace upon grace. By writing 555, you are testifying, I choose to walk through the open door. I will not waste this season. I receive the fullness of grace to step into destiny. It is not just digits, it is a prophetic act, a seal between your heart and heaven's invitation. And as you act, expect something to shift. The fog of hesitation will begin to clear. Strength will rise in places you felt weak. Peace will anchor you as you cross the threshold. For doors of destiny do not require perfect strength, they require surrendered steps. Chosen one, the door is open. Do not stand staring. Do not waste time questioning whether you are worthy. You would not be here if heaven had not already called you worthy. Walk, step, move forward. The moment is now, and when you cross, remember, destiny is not about personal comfort, but kingdom impact. On the other side, your life becomes a vessel for others. Your testimony becomes their roadmap. Your obedience becomes their breakthrough. The door is not just for you, it is for every life your obedience will touch. So lift your head, fix your eyes on the light streaming through the open frame, and walk with courage. For heaven has placed before you a door that no one can shut, and your season to enter is now. Chosen one, do you realize the power carried in your voice? It is more than sound, more than breath pushing through vocal cords. Your voice is thunder in the unseen realm. When spoken in faith, it shakes strongholds. When released with truth, it cuts through lies. When aligned with heaven, it becomes an instrument through which angels are dispatched and darkness is dismantled. This is why silence has always been a weapon of the enemy against you. He wanted to convince you that your words do not matter, that your prayers are empty, that your declarations are powerless. He hoped you would stay quiet, locked in fear or doubt, never realizing that your voice carries authority stamped by heaven itself. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. End of tree. This truth is not optional, it is law in the spirit. Life and death hang in the balance of words. That is why your voice cannot remain idle. Every time you speak hope into despair, you sow life. Every time you declare God's promises in the face of storms, you release power. And every time you resist lies with truth, you silence the enemy. Chosen one, think back on the moments when your words shifted atmospheres. Perhaps you prayed for someone and they felt peace immediately. Perhaps you encouraged a weary friend and saw light return to their eyes. Perhaps you whispered prayers alone and later saw circumstances change. These were not coincidences. They were echoes of heaven responding to your thunder. The spiritual realm is sensitive to sound. Scripture tells us walls fell at Jericho when the people shouted. Chains broke for Paul and Silas when they sang at midnight. Even creation itself was called into existence by the spoken word. Let there be light. This is the pattern sound, precedes breakthrough. And your voice is part of that divine pattern. But thunder does not come without storm clouds. Just as lightning builds before the roar, your voice carries weight when it is born from pressure. The battles you endured, the prayers you cried through tears, the declarations you made even when fear pressed hard, these were the storms that built the thunder of your voice. Now, when you speak, it is not empty noise, it is charged with authority, forged in pain and perseverance. Chosen one, use your voice boldly. Pray when you feel weak, and watch strength rise. Declare truth when lies surround, and see clarity break through. Speak peace when chaos swirls, and let the storm settle. You do not need to shout for heaven to hear you, but do not underestimate the volume of your faith. Even whispers in alignment with God echo louder than the loudest screams of darkness. Your voice also carries identity. When you declare who you are in God, you remind yourself and the unseen world of your position. You are not a victim stumbling through shadows. You are a chosen one, crowned with fire, sealed with destiny. Speak it until it becomes reality. Speak it until your heart believes what heaven has always declared. And remember this, silence is agreement. To say nothing in the face of lies is to let them stand unchallenged. To remain quiet when the enemy accuses is to allow his voice the final word. But you were never meant to bow in silence. You were created to roar, to proclaim, to lift your voice as proof that the light still speaks. Think of a trumpet in battle. It does not fight with sword or shield, yet its sound directs armies, shifts momentum, and signals victory. Your voice is that trumpet. It may seem small, but it carries power beyond measure when aligned with heaven's command. Chosen one, do not despise your voice, even if it trembles, even if it feels weak. Let it rise. Heaven does not require perfection, only obedience. And when you speak, heaven responds. Angels move, chains break, darkness flees. Let your words be intentional. Fill them with life, not death. Speak blessing, not curse. Speak faith, not fear. Speak destiny, not despair. For your voice is not merely yours, it is a vessel through which heaven invades earth. And as you continue, remember, the more you use your voice in faith, the stronger it grows. Like muscles trained through repetition, authority increases with use. Every prayer spoken, every declaration released, every truth proclaimed builds momentum. Your voice grows from a whisper into a roar, from a flicker into thunder. Chosen one, this is who you are, not silent, not powerless, but a carrier of thunder. Let your words be weighty, your prayers persist, your declarations bold. For when you speak, the heavens listen, the earth shifts, and the enemy trembles. Your voice is not ordinary. It is thunder marked by God. Chosen one, the wilderness has been your teacher. It was never punishment. Though it felt like exile, it was never abandonment. Though it felt like silence, the wilderness was the crucible where you were tested, stripped, and prepared for what comes next. And now, that season is closing. You are stepping out of wilderness into the land promised long before you knew its name. The wilderness feels endless when you are in it. The days blur together. Prayers seem unanswered. Strength feels scarce. You wonder if you are lost, if perhaps you missed the way. But what you did not see was the hand of heaven guiding you, even there. In the silence, God was speaking. In the barrenness, He was building. In the hunger, He was teaching you dependence. The voice of God thundered in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep His commands. This is the truth of your journey. The wilderness was not wasted. It revealed what was in your heart. It stripped away the illusions of strength so you would learn where true strength comes from. It cut ties to false comforts so that when blessing comes, your heart clings only to Him. Chosen one. Think of Israel walking through the desert. Sand stretched endlessly before them. Yet every morning, manna fell. They saw no rivers. Yet water flowed from rock. They faced enemies. Yet victory came by the hand of the Lord. The wilderness was never about lack. It was about learning dependence. And so it has been with you. Your wilderness was the place where you discovered God in ways you never could in comfort, in lack, you learned He is provider. In silence, you learned He is present. In weakness, you learned His strength is made perfect. You may have entered broken, but you emerge forged. You may have gone in with questions, but you leave with answers written in the scars of survival. Now the horizon shifts. The wilderness does not last forever. Promises do not stay buried. The land of destiny lies ahead, fertile and waiting. But hear this, the wilderness prepared you to enter. Without its refining, the weight of promise would crush you. With its lessons, you are ready to inherit without losing yourself. Chosen one. Reflect on what has changed in you. You are not the same person who entered the wilderness. Your perspective has deepened. Your patience has stretched. Your faith has grown roots. You endured seasons that felt endless. And in doing so, you discovered that you are far stronger than you imagined, not because of yourself, but because of who sustained you. Now, imagine a tree planted in dry ground. Its roots dig deep, searching for water, while other trees grow tall quickly but topple when storms come. This tree stands firm, its roots wrapped around hidden streams. That is you. The wilderness drove your roots deep, and now you are unshakable. But the shift requires vigilance. Israel stepped into their promised land, yet some forgot the lessons of the desert. They turned to idols. They trusted in abundance rather than the giver. Do not repeat their mistake. Carry the wilderness with you, not the pain, but the lessons. Let the memory of hunger keep you humble. The memory of thirst keep you dependent. The memory of silence keep you listening. Chosen one. Destiny is not comfort without purpose. It is calling fulfilled. It is promise lived out. It is the land flowing with milk and honey, not merely to satisfy you, but to prove God's faithfulness to the generations watching. Your life becomes evidence that promises may be delayed, but they are never denied. Step forward with courage. You are not leaving the wilderness empty-handed. You carry wisdom that others need. You carry endurance that will anchor many. You carry faith that can part seas and move mountains. These treasures are not visible to the eye, but they are eternal, and they are yours. Chosen one. The wilderness season is ending. Lift your eyes. The horizon glows with promise. The ground beneath you shifts from barren to fertile. The door of destiny opens wider than before. Walk boldly into the land prepared for you. For you are not who you were. You are refined, tested, and ready. The wilderness was your proving ground. The promised land will be your testimony. Chosen one, lift your gaze, for this is the hour when crown bearers arise. The wilderness has stripped you. The battles have tested you. The fire has marked you. And now heaven places a crown upon your head. It is not the crown of men, which fades with time, but the crown of glory, forged by endurance and obedience. You were never running for applause. You were running for this moment. Crowns in Scripture are not ornaments. They are testimonies. They speak of battles fought, of races finished, of loyalty proven. They shine not because of gold, but because of story, and your story is etched into your crown. Every tear glistens as a jewel. Every scar reflects as a gem. Every trial endured adds brilliance to its weight. When heaven looks upon you, it sees not defeat, but royalty prepared for such a time as this. as the apostle wrote in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to all who longed. This is the promise: crowns await those who remain. Not crowns for the swift, not crowns for the popular, not crowns for the celebrated, but crowns for the faithful. And you, chosen one, have proven faithful. You may have stumbled, but you stood. You may have wept, but you kept walking. You may have doubted, but you never denied. And for that, your crown is assured. But hear this: crowns are not just for eternity. They are authority, even now. To wear a crown is to carry influence, to shine with weight, to walk with dignity that cannot be erased. When you enter rooms, your presence shifts atmospheres because heaven has placed honor on your life. When you speak, your words cut deeper because they are spoken with the gravity of one who carries heaven's seal. Think of a torchbearer in a relay. He runs not just for himself, but for the team, carrying the flame toward the finish line. Your crown is like that torch. It signals that you are not running alone. Every like, every share, every subscription, every donation becomes fuel for the flame, oil for the lamp, strength for the runner. When you support, you are not just helping a voice, you are carrying the torch so it reaches further, faster, brighter. Imagine this work like a vineyard. One tends the soil, another waters, another prunes, and yet another gathers the harvest. No one part is wasted. No one role is small. When you give, when you share, when you comment, you are tending the vineyard, ensuring that fruit continues to grow, that light continues to spread, that lives continue to be reached. Your role is sacred. Chosen one. Even your comment carries power. When you write words below, you are not just filling space, you are testifying. You are building altars of agreement where others can come and find hope. Your words may be the very sign someone scrolling in silence needs to keep believing. So do not hesitate. Speak life into this space. Let your crown shine not only on your head, but through your words. And yes, your giving is part of this sacred act. Donations are not transactions, they are seeds. Seeds placed in fertile soil grow into trees that give shade, fruit, and life. When you sow, you are planting trees under which others will find rest. You may never meet them, but your generosity becomes the root of their breakthrough. What could be more holy than that? Chosen one. Your crown is not meant to be hidden in a box. It is meant to be seen, to inspire, to testify. Let it shine as you stand boldly, as you support faithfully, as you declare publicly. The crown is yours, but the glory belongs to God. Lift your head, walk as royalty, support as a crown bearer, comment with life, share as one carrying flame, donate as one planting eternal seeds. And together, crown bearers will arise across the earth, a movement unstoppable, a family unshakable, a remnant radiant with glory. This is your hour. Chosen one, wear your crown, and let the world see the light of heaven upon you. Chosen one, pause and feel the weight of your own existence. You are not fragile. Though life has tried to convince you otherwise, you are not disposable. Though rejection whispered lies into your heart, you are not easily broken. Though storms beat against you again and again, you are unstoppable, not because of your own strength, but because heaven has wrapped your destiny in covenant. A covenant is not a contract that can be torn or cancelled when one party changes its mind. A covenant is binding, eternal, sealed by the very breath of God over your life. Such a covenant has been spoken. It declares that no force of darkness, no failure of your past, no rejection from people, no assault from the enemy can undo what God has already written. This is why you have survived. This is why you still stand. Think back. You faced seasons that should have destroyed you. Circumstances rose like giants. Storms howled like wolves. Betrayals pierced like daggers. And yet, here you are. Broken? No. Bruised? Yes. But still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. That is not by chance, it is covenant. You cannot be undone because heaven refuses to let you go. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it." Chosen one. Your destiny is sealed by time itself. The vision God planted in you is not fiction, it is fact, waiting for its appointed hour. Though it has lingered, though delay has tested your patience, it cannot be denied. The covenant ensures that what He promised will come to pass. This is why darkness fights you so fiercely. The enemy cannot destroy the covenant, but he hopes to discourage you into abandoning it. He whispers lies to make you quit before the vision arrives. He stirs storms to exhaust you before the crown is placed. But every time you keep walking, every time you choose faith, every time you cling to hope, you prove that the covenant is stronger than the conflict. Chosen one. Unstoppable does not mean you never feel weary. It means weariness cannot stop you. It does not mean you never cry. It means your tears water the seeds of tomorrow's harvest. It does not mean you never face fear. It means courage rises in you, even while fear tries to bind your steps. Unstoppable is not perfection, it is persistence. It is covenant, faithfulness, shining through fragile humanity. Imagine a river. Rocks try to block it, but the water keeps flowing. Trees fall across its path, yet it carves around them. Storms muddy it, yet it clears again. No matter what opposes it, the river moves forward, cutting valleys, shaping landscapes, reaching its destination. That river is you, pressed, blocked, resisted, but never stopped. Because the covenant placed within you is like water, it will find a way. Chosen one. There is a holy strength rising in you now. It is not loud like thunder, but steady like the heartbeat of eternity. It reminds you that your story is not over, that your assignment cannot be stolen, that your covenant is unbreakable. People may walk away, circumstances may shift, but the God who chose you will never abandon what He began. Carry this truth with reverence. You are unstoppable not because you have never fallen, but because you always rise again. You are unshakable not because the ground never trembles, but because your foundation rests on one who cannot be moved. You are unbreakable not because you never feel pain, but because pain cannot crush what heaven has sealed. Chosen one, your covenant carries you forward. The appointed time is drawing near. The vision lingers, but it will speak. The promise tarries, but it will arrive. Do not despise the waiting. Do not curse the delays. They are not denials. They are proofs that heaven is preparing the stage for your breakthrough. So breathe deeply. Lift your head. Plant your feet. You are unstoppable. The covenant holds you. The vision guides you. The hand of God sustains you. And no power on earth or in the heavens can undo what has already been decreed over your life. Chosen one, hear the final trumpet call. It is not the sound of an ending, but of a beginning. It is the signal that your best days are not buried in the past, but rising on the horizon. Everything you have endured, every tear shed, every storm survived, has been leading you here to the threshold of destiny. The trumpet does not sound for the sleeping. It sounds for the watchful, the awakened, the ready. And you, chosen one, are awake. You have walked through fire and not been consumed. You have crossed valleys of shadows and still carry light. You have faced rejection, yet you stand crowned. This trumpet call is your announcement. The time you waited for is unfolding before your very eyes. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life, and have it to the full. And this is your inheritance, life, in fullness, not survival, not scraping by, not barely making it. Fullness, overflow, abundance." The trumpet call reminds you that you were never created to live half-hearted, half-lit, half-awake. You were chosen for a life marked by glory, carried by peace, and sealed with eternal purpose. Chosen one, do not let your past dictate your future. The trumpet does not sound backward, it calls you forward. Regret whispers of yesterday, but heaven sings of tomorrow. Lift your eyes from what is gone and fix them on what is coming. Your crown is not behind you, it is before you. Your harvest is not buried, it is ripening. Your destiny is not fading, it is rising. Think of a runner hearing the bell for the final lap. Weariness may weigh heavy, but the sound awakens fresh strength. Muscles burn, lungs ache, but the runner presses forward because the finish line is near. That is what this trumpet means for you. Though you may feel weary, strength is rising, because the end of one season marks the beginning of another. Chosen one, the trumpet also signals gathering. Just as armies rally when the horn blows, so too are the chosen ones gathering across the earth. You are not alone. Others, too, have endured wilderness, carried scars, borne fear, and now rise beside you. Together, you form a remnant that will shine against the darkness. This is why your obedience matters, not just for you, but for the countless others your life will touch. Do not fear what lies ahead. Trumpets in Scripture often announced battle, but they also announced victory, coronation, and celebration. This trumpet is not sounding doom over your life, it is declaring destiny. It is heaven's reminder that you are not forgotten, not abandoned, not overlooked. You are chosen, equipped, and summoned for such a time as this. Picture dawn, breaking after the longest night. The sky, once heavy with silence, begins to glow with color. The world, once draped in shadows, stirs with life. That is your story. The night is ending, and the light of destiny is rising. The trumpet call is the sun's first ray, the proof that darkness cannot last forever. Chosen one, let hope anchor you here. You are stepping into chapters unwritten, into paths prepared long before you walked them. The trumpet call is not just sound, it is alignment. It is prophecy. It is the voice of heaven declaring, "Now is the time." So, walk forward boldly. Carry every lesson from the wilderness, every flame from the fire, every jewel from the crown. Your life is not random. Your destiny is not fragile. Your future is not small. The trumpet declares it. Your best days are ahead. Your calling is active. Your story is only beginning. This is the final trumpet call. Do not hear it as an ending, but as heaven's anthem, announcing to creation itself, the chosen ones are rising, and you are among them. Chosen one, you have walked with me through every section, through fire, wilderness, battle, and breakthrough. Now, as this message closes, hear the gentle yet powerful truth. Your journey is far from finished. What you carry is too important to stay hidden. Your light is too valuable to dim. Heaven's seal on your life is too radiant to ignore. But light spreads when it is lifted. Fire grows when it is fanned. Messages like this are like lanterns in the night. They shine further when carried together. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not simply supporting content, you are carrying the lantern into new hands, ensuring that others stumbling in shadows can find their way. And yes, even your giving has eternal weight. Think of it like planting seeds. A single seed may seem small, but when placed in fertile soil, it becomes a tree that offers shade, fruit, and life to many. Your donation is not just a gift, it is a seed of light, planted so that others may one day rest in its branches. Your words, too, carry fire. When you comment below, you are not adding noise, you are leaving a marker of faith, a testimony for others scrolling in silence. They may not have courage yet, but your words can become their courage. Speak life into this space. Write your agreement. Leave your hope. Someone needs to see it. So, chosen one, as this message comes to its close, do not let the flame stop here. Carry it. Spread it. Fuel it. Support it. Together, we are more than scattered candles. We are a constellation blazing across the night sky. Unstoppable. Unshakable. Undeniable. Your crown shines. Your voice thunders. Your future calls. Rise. Chosen one, the best is yet to come.